Iraq in 91. And for 10 years, they enforced sanctions and a no-fly zone policy over the 33rd parallel in Iraq and shut that nation down, and over 500,000 children alone died from curable diseases. That's what I mean when it says a continual struggle. Now, even after the initial invasion of 91 was over, they continued. They continued. Let me say this. He invaded again in 2003. Damn. You got that on film. That's Satan. Oh, man, that's your book, right? Big old tarantula up here, man. Damn. Just some paper, brother. Don't push pause, because then, you got to move fast, brother. Anyway, like the book said, he that smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindered. Come on, man, you got to move fast. All right? Yes. What is still alive? Go ahead. Go, put it on the table, man. It goes spot about that big. You would have, the camera person would have freaked out. Go ahead.
Okay. He that ruled the nations in anger.
Hey, you have to excuse us. Oh, that was like reality TV right there. The little spot that just popped up on the table. Go ahead.
Is persecuted and not hindered.
When it says he that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted, in other words, the time is going to come when he's going to be suffering. Go ahead.
Verse 7. The whole earth is at rest.
This is showing you. This is a dynamic that's taking place on earth among the nations. When he's brought down, Isaiah saw him. Isaiah saw Lucifer after he had fallen. He said the whole earth was going to be at rest. Go ahead.
And it's quiet. They break forth into singing.
They're going to be singing. But it's gone. There's all types of songs. Go ahead.
Yea, the fir trees rejoice at me.
Even the trees, because Esau's lumber industry. His deforestation. If that's how you say the word, I could be wrong. I'm known for butchering not just the English language, any language that I speak. But the point is cutting down all the trees. That's Esau, man. Destroying whole rainforests and ecosystems in the name of technology and corporatism. That's Esau. Go ahead.
Yea, the fir trees rejoice at me, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down.
The trees are going to sing, since you've been brought down. Go ahead.
No fellow is come up against us.
No other fellow, no other man has come up against us. Surely, let me say this. It shows you. There's a scripture in Job where it says the earth is going to rise up against him. That's in the scriptures, man. This is going to be the most likely of all kind of animal attack. If you think I'm lying, that's in the book of Psalm 191. It tells you the beasts of the field are going to be at peace with us. But the whole earth is going to rise up against Esau. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Help from beneath.
You ever seen them zoo shots? You be on the news, and all of a sudden, it'd be like a little panda bear, and the people be on the thing, all of a sudden, the panda grabs somebody and mangle. You ain't seen that? You just grab them. You gotta go see panda in the zoo attacks a patron at the zoo. That didn't happen to me. And they get too close to the dang thing, just reach them and grab them and be mangling them. Or they get a circus, and all of a sudden the elephant just run them up and start running up into the crowd. That's because the Most High be putting the spirit on these animals, man. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Now I'll show you. This is a dynamic on earth. When it says hell from beneath thee is removed to meet thee at thy coming, this is talking about the third world. I'm going to prove it to you. When it says hell from beneath you, in other words, it's talking about the lowest condition of life on earth. Today we call that the third world. In other words, the lowest form, the lowest quality housing, the lowest quality education, the lowest quality health care. I'm going to prove it. Real quick, go to Isaiah chapter 5, and you're going to read verses, 13 through 15, and it's going to show you it's going to describe some of the conditions socially that the Bible refers to as hell. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
The Lord's people, hold on, went into captivity. You got to go in panties at your own discretion, all right? Therefore, my people are going into captivity. Go ahead.
Because they have no knowledge.
When it says no knowledge, one of the conditions of hell we're going to read is captivity, ignorance, no knowledge, meaning ignorant. Our people are enslaved and they don't know who they are. They don't even know slavery. Go ahead.
And their honorable men are famished.
When it says the honorable men, it's talking about the men that would once be their leaders are worn out. And all they are. They're just poverty pimps set up by the so-called white man to keep oppressed blacks and Hispanics passive. That's all they are. Go ahead.
And their multitude dried up with
When
thirst.
it says multitude dried up with thirst, in other words, let me say this. If somebody is thirsty, that's talking about a state of somebody who is suffering. So imagine the multitude is thirsty. In other words, it's talking about we literally are suffering need. We literally are without nourishment, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So it said the people went into captivity, they're ignorant, their leaders have been famished, and the multitude dried up with thirst. Read on.
Verse 14. Therefore,
And because of this, because of the aforementioned, I guess you would call those situations, go ahead.
hell
Hell,
had enlarged herself
in other words, when the Lord's people went into that condition, it said hell got bigger. Hell enlarged herself, go ahead,
and opened her mouth without
and
measure.
opened her mouth without measure, as if to swallow up these people. Go ahead.
And their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into
In
it.
other words, all of our people that were proud back in the days, of the biblical days, when the Most High was sending the prophets to warn us about our arrogance and our backsliding and our idolatry, we descended into that. That's all of us. So when it says hell, in other words, it's talking about that situation of the least. In other words, you have just enough to keep you alive and suffering. So you go back to Isaiah chapter 14, and when you read verse 9, read it again. It says what?
Verse 9 of Isaiah chapter 14. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
In other words, hell, when it says hell is moved, in other words, the kingdoms, or I should say, the people of these oppressed nations are waiting for this man to fall. That's all it's saying. In other words, when you talk about people that are enslaved, people whose kingdoms, whose nations have sanctions against, well, they can't get simple penicillin, man. They can't get, books for education. They can't, let me say this, down in this place during the 80s in Cochabamba, Bolivia, Brother Esau had created this system down where he created, the food was so high, the water was so high, the people had to decide whether they was going to use their money to buy food or water because they couldn't buy it full. So when they started buying food and collecting rain, Esau made it against the law to collect rainwater. Now tell me who's the devil, man? Who was Lucifer? He made it illegal in Bolivia to collect rainwater. You know what I'm saying? That's who it's talking about. So when it talks about these people, hell from beneath is moved to meet that they're coming, they're expecting your downfall. They're expecting Esau's downfall. They're waiting for it. Go ahead.
It stirreth up the dead for thee.
When it says stirreth up the dead, it's not talking about people in the grave. It's talking about the disenfranchised in the world, man, the disillusioned. The people been downtrodden. That's what it's talking about. They're referred to as dead. Go ahead.
Even all the chief ones of the earth.
Now it's proof. The chief ones of the earth. It just shows you hell, but it refers to hell as being on earth just like heaven being on earth. Go ahead.
It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
It have raised up from their throne all the kings of the nations. Now let's go through some of those nations, like North Korea, Kim Jong-il. Okay? Like what's taking place in Pakistan, the leaders of Pakistan, the mullahs of Iran or Persia. The Most High got these nations set up waiting for Esau's fall. You know what I'm saying? The leaders of Russia. And they're Edomites. But they're going to become a guard to the Arab, to the Muslim nation, to the Muslim culture. Because they're going to have Arabs and Persians, and Africans that they're going to be backing up. The scriptures tell you, man, Persia is going to be a guard to Ethiopia. It's going to be a guard to Libya. It's going to be a guard to, Russia, excuse me. It's going to be a guard to Persia. It's going to be a guard to Libya. It's going to be a guard to Ethiopia. And other nations that's going to come up against America. That's what it tells you. And then it tells you the Chinese and the Asian countries are going to follow suit.